Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and today I'm going to talk about the 1980 Star Wars Empire Strikes Back action figure IG-88 from Kenner. When I was a kid, I thought Star Wars figures were the coolest thing ever. In early 1980, I was probably at the height of my love of Star Wars when I found out that new figures were being released for the upcoming movie The Empire Strikes Back. It had been about a year since the last wave had hit the shelves, so I was very excited to add new characters to my ranks. The 10 new figures that Kenner put out in 1980 for The Empire Strikes Back were a bit of a mixed bag. The wave included several awesome figures like Luke Skywalker in his Bespin outfit, Rebel Soldier and Imperial Stormtrooper in Hoth battle gear, and Han Solo in his Hoth outfit. On the other hand, there was FX-7, the medical droid, which barely seemed like an action figure at all to me, and there was the Princess Leia in her Bespin gown, which didn't seem as ready for action as her Hoth outfit would have been. Even though they didn't appear very much in the movie, this wave also included two bounty hunters, Bossk and IG-88. They were only on screen for a few seconds, and IG-88 in particular didn't say or do much of anything in those few seconds, but they were still very cool action figures. Here's a photo that was taken on Christmas morning. I'm pretty sure it's from 1980. As you can see, I got IG-88, Bossk, 3 Hoth Stormtroopers, and a Star Destroyer, so it was an awesome Christmas for me. In the years after the movie, IG-88 was never as popular as Boba Fett and received less attention back in what I consider to be the vintage Star Wars years. For me, that's the time before there was any serious talk about the prequels. In 1980, IG-88 appeared on the cover of Famous Monsters along with Bossk and Boba Fett, and then throughout the 80s, he appeared in maybe 5 or 6 issues of the Marvel Star Wars comics. But in general, he was a secondary character at best. None of that really mattered to me when it came to playing with my toys, though. All I cared about was how cool the action figures were, and IG-88 was certainly cool enough to participate in my Star Wars adventures. After all, he was a robot bounty hunter that came with 2 guns. How cool is that? I'd like to point out that the IG-88 action figure was a good bit taller than the other Star Wars figures, which makes sense. In the movie, he was almost 8 feet tall. In fact, he was so tall that they had to put him on a lower level than the other bounty hunters, and we never saw him walk because his feet were bolted to the floor. In addition to the regular figure, there was also a 1/6 scale version of IG-88. I never had that one as a kid, but I did wonder why he and Boba Fett were the only 2 1/6 scale figures that Kenner released for The Empire Strikes Back. With as little time as IG-88 spent on screen, it was strange to me that they made him and none of the main characters from the movie in 1/6 scale. I've read that IG-88 was originally called simply Chrome War Droid during the making of Empire Strikes Back. This bounty hunter is an assassin droid who varied quite a bit from the original concept art for the character. In the Star Wars universe, there were 4 of these droids made, and the one in The Empire Strikes Back is technically named IG-88B. If you look closely, he or a robot that looks a lot like him can be seen briefly in the scene where Chewbacca is looking for the parts for C-3PO. Maybe this is IG-88B, maybe it's another droid. I've heard both, and I don't know the actual intention of George Lucas on this. I was also amused to find out that his head was made from a part of a Rolls-Royce jet engine and was used as a prop in the cantina scene of Star Wars. It looks like a cappuccino maker to me. I think the Mandalorian TV show rekindled an interest in the character when a similar-looking IG-11 droid showed up in the first episode. Although IG-11 looks a lot like IG-88, they decided to make him a new character so that it didn't conflict with any of the previous stories about IG-88. But the 2 droids look so similar that I think it reminded a lot of people how cool IG-88 really is. My figures from Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back were easily some of my favorite toys from my childhood. However, by the time the Return of the Jedi figures came out, G.I. Joe had become my new favorites. I still loved Star Wars and probably had about half of the Return of the Jedi figures and a speeder bike. I remember building my own Ewok Village playset out of some wood since I didn't have the one from Kenner, but my Return of the Jedi figures never saw as much action as the figures from Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. I'm glad I had those Empire Strikes Back figures when I did, because I had so much fun playing with them during those awesome years of my childhood. What did you think of the IG-88 action figure when you were a kid? Were you a fan of the bounty hunters from the Empire Strikes Back? If so, which one was your favorite? Tell me in the comments below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell so I can let you know when I post new videos. And one last thing, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about Toylanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit Toylanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.